chant Om 3 times, followed by the Sahanavatu Shloka and other invocation shlokas. Inhale deeply. Om. 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 Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahana Bhunektu Sah Vidyam Karavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Samasta Jana Kalyane Niratam Karunamaya Namami Chinmayam Devam Tadgurum Brahma Vidvaram Tadgurum Brahma Vidvaram. Hey everyone, good evening and welcome back. As we are covering chapter 2, Bhagavad Gita, right? In the last session, we were looking at the shloka, Sukha Dukhe, Labha Labha Jaya Jaya Samekutva Tata Yuddhaya Yujasva Evam. See, the essence of the last verse we have seen. So the actual shloka says Sukha Dukhe Samekutva Labha Labha Jaya Jaya. Right? So then prior to that, what we also saw was Hatva Prapsi Swargam Jitva Va Bhokshase Mahim. That's what we saw. Meaning, if you win, you're going to enjoy right here. If you're dead, you're going to enjoy later. Okay, so basically what happened is that in Hatva Prapsi Swargam, we understood what is the essential meaning in that. Is that whether once we perform an action, we are going to get the result. Whether that result comes now or later is immaterial, but result is guaranteed, and the result comes in such a way that the circumstances around me are conducive for me to experience the result. Now, this teaching, Hatvava Prapisvarga Jitvava Bhokshase Mahim, it is from a common sense and Dharma perspective. Okay, so we always say, we talk about Shreyas and Prayas. Okay, so now in the prayers, meaning like, path of worldliness, okay, in path of, what happens is that there are questions about, am I going to, what about my yoga, what about my kshema, meaning who is going to take care of me, those kind of questions are there, right? So will take care of me, meaning like, okay, what about my needs? Okay, so that is always a challenging thing, and everything in this world, in this Preyo Marga, everything is about my well-being. Okay, my physical well-being, my mental well-being, etc. But it is primarily focused on my physical, mental, or intellectual well-being. Okay, so it is not like totally focused on spiritual well-being. So in that case, what it is saying is that no matter what, don't worry, Bhagwan is going to take care of you. Now, when Bhagwan says Sukha Dukhe Samyak Krutva Labha Labho Jaya Jayo Tato Yuddhasva Kruta Nishchaya. When he says that, what is he saying is that now this is Shreyo Marga. Okay, so here every action in the path of Shreyas, every action that I'm performing is an investment. Okay, if it is my Swadharma, then I get Punya. Now, do I want to encash this Punya for worldly happiness? In which case, it is encashed into Sukha. Or should I use my Punya to purify my mind? If that is the case, if my attitude is that, okay, so whatever Punya comes, let it cleanse my mind, okay? So then Punya is not converted into Sukha, rather than it gives it Chitta Shuddhi. What exactly Chitta Shuddhi is? Essentially simple, right? So we are a being of a bundle of vasanas along with Sukha Dukkha's. And whatever we do, wherever we go, it is all based upon our vasanas. And when we say Chitta Shuddhi, and because when these vasanas are strong, these vasanas do not let my mind stay peaceful, and they invade my mind with a lot of agitation and thoughts, and it keeps me agitated, it keeps me disturbed. Okay, but now what Chitta Shuddhi is? Reduction of these agitations, meaning reduction of vasanas. So when the vasanas are reduced, then vasana janita karmas are also reduced, meaning like there is no more, we really don't have to do too much karma anymore, because the desires for this, the hankering for that, all of them are slowed down. So now I don't have to rush to, hey, I want to gain this thing, I want to go get this thing, I want, whether it is like whether it is material as in like financial thing, or whether it is a what you call as a in the path of this worldliness, there are three things that Ramakrishna Paramahamsa says: Kamini, Kanchana, Kirti. Okay. Kamini meaning, literal translation of Kamini is woman. Okay, but what it means is that anything that you do with the desire with regarding the family bonds, attachments, all of those. Okay, so about my children, my parents, my wife, or my lover, whatever you call it, as all of that comes into this Kamini. And it is not necessarily only for men, it is Kamini kind of thing. Even for women, the Kamini means, okay, it is opposite sex, that's all it is. Then the other area is Kanchana. Kanchana is, of course, can be name of a woman also, but Kanchana means gold. Gold means anything to do with money is Kanchana. And Kirti is anything to do with fame. Fame is also power. So these are the three things that we are hankering around. Like most of our life is hankering around these three areas, and all our agitations, all our vasanas are going behind these. Okay, most of our vasanas. Now, when we perform the action, okay, in the manner that Bhagavan has said, Sukha Dukkhe Samye Kutva, right? So when he said that, what is happening? And then when we say, okay, so I don't want punya, okay, I want Chitta Shuddhi, the effect of these vasanas on us are going to be reduced. Puja Gurudev, Swami Chinmayananda ji says that when he talks about Karma Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, Jnana Yoga, he says something about this, right? The Karma Yoga reduces, he calls this vasana, the flow of vasanas and thoughts, he compares it to a fast flowing stream. Okay, so as if like, in monsoon, when there's like too much rainfall, suddenly what is dry land automatically becomes a stream, and it is it is going so fast, and it can wipe off the villages or the people or whatever, right? So now in this, so he compares this and how this he says is that the Viveka and Bhakti, right? Viveka and Vairagya, right? So they are like the banks of this stream. Okay, so you need to have the strong foundation so that way the water doesn't overflow, the vasanas doesn't overflow. Okay, Viveka and Vairagya. Now, how is the flow of water, the speed of the water, the volume of the water is compared to, and it can be reduced with Karma Yoga. The speed of the flow is controlled by Karma Yoga. The quality of the water, okay, the dirt and like if it is a pure river, right? So for example, think about like a river that is flowing from Himalayas and hopefully not polluted by the industries down the stream. That's a pure water that is coming. But when this water is because of the rainfall, like excess rainfall, when these streams are flowing, right? These rivulets are flowing very fast. They carry all kind of dirt. Okay, so that water is not pure. Okay, I mean, if you see anytime anywhere there's a flood water, that water is very dirty and it is ripe for illnesses, etc. Right? So the quality of water, right? The quality of vasanas are controlled by bhakti yoga. Okay, so karma marga reduces the volume. The bhakti marga, bhakti reduces the, I mean, like improves the quality by reducing the dirt, and then jnana turns the direction of the water to, rather than flowing downward, it actually flows upward, meaning it flows backward, turns to the creator. Okay, so this is where he says. So here, when because we are talking about karma yoga, karma marga here, how to perform action, by performing action this manner, and whatever comes, okay, we are saying that, oh, I don't want to enjoy this, okay, it is whatever. How do I say, like, how do I make a determination that, oh, I don't want punya, I want chitta shuddhi? Okay, that is by simple affirmation. What is the affirmation? I'm okay with whatever Bhagavan gives, that I am doing this as Ishwara Arpana. Okay, so I'm doing it as seva to the Lord, whatever work I'm doing, whatever result comes, that is Bhagavan's prasada. I had nothing to do with it. So once you have that, what happens is that the chitta shuddhi starts happening. Okay, so once this is there, okay, then the spiritual growth is possible. With that, we will enter into verse number 39. Okay, so Chanji, do you want to?
But that is the essence of Bhagavad Gita anyway. I think to achieve purity of mind and to achieve that moksha or the realization who I am, these are the three paths that have been designed anyway. One is karma yoga, as you explained. The second is bhakti yoga, and third is the jnana yoga. So they complement each other, but the strongest part of this is the bhakti, which is considered to be the most direct. The others one only the means to the end. The bhakti is direct, straight to the end. And is that true? I mean, that's the bhakti is the part that takes you straight without any, the others are means to getting there, like karma yoga and jnana yoga are means of getting to the end, but bhakti is the one that takes you straight. If you have the highest bhakti, it's the highest form of, method or path to reach the ultimate goal of moksha.
It's a very good question. So the thing is that,
and the second part of it is, like you said, the whole process of vasanas is all complemented by the gunas. So what we are basically trying to incorporate is that when you get into the sattvic form of mindset, that's what we are trying to achieve, is that we do not want to achieve any gain right now. But the idea is to lift our mind towards the higher goal rather than worrying about the other benefits that we are going to gain. So I think it's the gunas that are manifested because of the vasanas, because it's all mind is the source of our gunas, which are all permeated through the bundle of vasanas. So as we purify our gunas, we go from tamasic to rajasic to the sattvic gunas. I'm trying to incorporate all of this because now that we have read Bhagavad Gita so many times, the ultimate summation is how to purify these things and what are the mechanisms of achieving that. And I mean, they all interplay, and I think I want to just throw this as a part of the discussion.
So, at the outset, Karma Marga, Bhakti Marga, Jnana Marga appears to be different. Okay. So, at a preliminary level, okay, so let's take our Chinmaya mission, right? Someone is coming and they're not, I mean, like every Sunday they show up at the mission. They go to kitchen, they cook, they help clean up and all of that and say, I'm a karma yogi. Okay. Then, I mean, this is a typical, I'm just saying, right? Then somebody only goes to temple on Tuesday evenings and does puja. Okay, so that means that watches Hanumanji's Abhisheka and chants Sundarakanda, sorry, not Sundarakanda, Hanuman Chalisa a couple of times. Okay, and so then they say that, I'm a bhakta. Okay, then there are some people who only goes to adult satsang on Sunday morning and they'll say, I am a jnani. So this is what you call as a, my teacher would call it as a LKG level understanding of the karma yoga, bhakti yoga, and jnana yoga. From an external perspective, that's how it looks like. Okay, oh, he's a karma yogi, he's a jnani, he's a bhakta. The reality is that they are all entry points. Okay, bhakta. Because their entry points, there appear to be 3 different entry points based upon the texture of our mind. Okay. Now, if you really look at it, okay, karma yoga. Okay, let us take karma yoga. Now, what are the essential features of karma yoga? Okay, I'm only performing my duties, my swadharma. I'm not expecting any results. Okay, I am doing with Ishvara Arpana Buddhi. Okay, and I have Prasada Buddhi. Now, Prasada Buddhi means whatever result comes, I have faith in God, and whatever result comes, that is up to Him. Right? So these are the 4 aspects. Now tell me, I'm performing my Swadharma appears to be Karma Yoga. Okay. And I'm not looking for the result also as Karma Yoga apparently. Now, Ishvara Arpana Buddhi, I'm only doing this to God for the sake of God. Is that not Bhakti?
Yes.
Okay. Now, I have faith that my God is never going to fail me. Okay. Whether the result comes now or whatever, whenever it comes, it is fine. I have no worries because I have a perfect understanding. Is that faith is not jnana? Okay. So what happens is that one is a jnana pradhana, one is bhakti pradhana, one is karma pradhana. Okay. So they appear to be, okay, they are not 3 different paths. Rather, there are 3 different lanes on the same highway going in the same direction. Okay. Sometimes you will be in the left lane, sometimes you will be in the middle lane, sometimes you will be in the right lane. Okay. But you are on the same path. Okay. Sometimes, so a true bhakti yoga is not devoid of jnana and karma. Because a bhakta understands the nature of God and nature of himself and sees the entire world as Bhagwan's extension only. And his performance of action is in sync with the principles of Karma Yoga. A true Jnani, whether you take Adi Shankaracharya ji or Swami Chinmayananda ji, okay, they never said that, oh, you know what, like, okay, I'm a jnani, so I don't have to worry about bhakti. Okay. Yeah. Shankaracharya ji is Bhagavan Shankaracharya ji, the number of the stotras he wrote on the different number of deities is mind-boggling. Okay, he never left anyone out. Okay, he wrote stotrams on Vishnumurti, Lakshmi Devi, Shiva, Parvati, Kala Bhairava, Vinayaka, etc. Right? So there is no God, there's no form of divinity that he left. Okay, Sharda Devi, etc. Right? So Jnani and Bhakta. Now, in terms of him, if you look at him, he walked 4 times up and down of entire India, right? Back in those tough days. Okay, and he brought the entire India together by establishing 4 different matas all on all 4 corners of the country, and he established Dashanami Sampradaya, he established Naga Sampradaya, etc. I mean, there are so many things that he did. Okay, so which means that he never ran away from karma. Okay, so any devotee you see, any bhakta you see, any jnana, even like look at some Chinmayananda, right? Oh, why does he have to come to the plains and teach? Okay, until he fell off, as in like until he went into coma, he was, I mean, like as you probably noticed in the movie or in the stories, right? So he used to have that oxygen mask, whatever that is called, right? The oxygen mask. Until he is pulled to the stage, then he will remove the mask, etc. Comes, sits on the stage. He gives a lecture, and he goes back, and then he's seated on the wheelchair with mask and everything, and taken out. Okay, that's how he worked. Okay, why does he need to do? Who is he doing it for?
Us.
For us. So why is he doing it for us? Why did he do it for us? Because he saw that the world is extension of Bhagwan alone, and this is his offering to Bhagwan. So there is pretty much understand that apparently it appears that bhakti is different from karma, karma is different from jnana, etc. But in reality, all 3 of them are one and the same. In some cases, it appears to be there's a bhakti pradhana. It could be okay. Some could be jnana pradhana. Some could be karma pradhana. That's how it may appear. Okay.
Very good. Excellent.
So, okay. Does that help?
No, I mean, I understand that. I think they all are complementary to each other. That means we don't have to, depending upon the person's attitude and his own personality and mindset. Some people are good at A, B, C, but all 3 are together. We are, performing all 3 kind of, things, and they work with each other, and each one makes you feel more and more purified in context of that's right. It's not just one thing, but I was just trying to raise a point about 3 different whether you call them lanes or the word path is used all over the shastras, that you can use A, B, C, or you can use the highway A1, 1, 2, 3 lane, whatever lane you follow or path you follow. Ultimate goal is to get moksha, to purify yourself, gain your understanding of who we are and who is our real, thing, our real identity. And anyway, let's get to the shaloka now. I think we have had a good discussion.
Yeah, very good. Very good input. Yes, Chanji.
So we'll chant verse 39. Chanji, are you okay to repeat?
Sure. I will try.
Okay, so I'll first break down the words. Esha te abhihita sankhe buddhi yoge timam shrunu buddhya yukto yaya patha karma bandham prahasyasi. Okay. Esha te bhihite sankhe
Esha te bahate sankyate buddhi yoge
buddhiryoge timam shrunu
maisha buddhidaya yuktoya partha karma bandham prayasyase.
Buddhya yukto yaya partha karma bandham prahasyasi. Okay, so now here there is a uh, what Bhagavan is saying is that Partha, okay, whatever I told you about until now is Sankhya, okay, and what I'm going to tell you is about Buddhi Yoga. Okay, so now here there is the word in this particular, I mean, interestingly, Eshe te bahite Sankhya Buddhi Yoga. So there are two words in here that came. One is Sankhya, other is Yoga. Now, Sankhya and Yoga, because like we have 6 different darshanas, okay? So in our Hindu philosophy, okay? So interestingly, there's there's a darshana called Sankhya. There's also Yoga darshana. Okay, so these words here, Sankhya, Yoga, are not referring to those darshanas. Okay, so then what is Sankhya is referring to? Okay, so because now if you recall, the name of this chapter is also Sankhya Yoga. Okay, so the chapter 2 is also called Sankhya Yoga. So Sankhya means something that is derived from Sankhya. Okay, Sankhya means numbers also, right? Because they are numbers, the Yoga Darshana, I mean the Darshana, Sankhya Darshana is because that is also based on numbers. So that's why it is called Sankhya Darshana. But in this case, Sankhya means it is actually Sa is a prefix for Sam is prefix for Kya. Kya means Khyati. Khyati means famous. Okay, so Samyak Khyayate, it is Sankhya, meaning Samyak means comprehensively popular. Okay, which teaches very well. Okay, so which is very well known, which is very well taught, is what is the Upanishads. Okay, so the ones that are very well known and which teaches very well, they are the Paravidya in Upanishads. Okay, that is expounded well in Vedas. Okay, so in Veda, if I don't know how many of you recall, when we did Mundaka Upanishad, okay, one of the opening shlokas say that there is Paravidya and Aparavidya, and in fact it says that all the also, what is it? All the knowledge in this world, including the Vedas themselves, it is listed in what Vedas only, is all Apara Vidya. They're all like lower knowledge. The real knowledge is different. Para Vidya is different. That's what it says. And then, how did it was differentiated back then was, in Mundaka Upanishad, is that if this is, I mean, this is a very different textbook. So now let us say this textbook is about, for a moment, imagine this is Mundaka Upanishad. Now, this is teaching Paravidya, yes, but this book is not itself is not Paravidya. The words in this book are not Paravidya. The knowledge, when it is experienced based on what is written in this book into my head, when I experience it, then that is when it becomes Paravidya. Otherwise, this book as it is, as it stands, it is nothing other than Aparavidya. Okay, so that's what we have studied. This is from when we did Mundaka Upanishad few years ago. Okay, so Sankhya, okay, is now what is Sankhya doing? What is well taught in Upanishads is about nothing but Brahman. Okay, so because Sankhya, okay, this everything that is taught is about in Upanishads is about Brahman. Okay, so Sankhya is also referring to Brahman. So that's why the name of this chapter 2 is, when you say Sankhya Yoga, what is Sankhya Yoga? Sankhya Yoga is about Brahman. Okay, it's knowledge about Brahman. Where did we learn about the knowledge of Brahman? Right from verse 11 to 30. Okay, all of that, when he described the nature of Atma, the nature of Atma is nothing different, is not different from Brahman. So that is where he described. Then again, when later on in the chapter, when Sita Prajna Lakshanas are given, that again refers to the nature of Brahman alone. Okay, so that's why it is, this chapter is called as Sankhya Yoga also. So now that word Sankhya is used here. Okay. Esha te abhitaye sankhye buddhi yoge tvimam shunum. Okay. Esha te abhita means, Esha means all of this, te to you, abhita explained, meaning like, hey Arjuna, whatever has been explained to you by Lord, by Bhagavan Krishna, that is the knowledge, Sankhya Buddhi, meaning the knowledge of Sankhya Buddhi, meaning the knowledge of Brahman, the nature of Brahman. Okay. Now, Yogi Buddhi Imam. Okay. So the one that has been just told, meaning until, like, say, for example, Sukha Dukkha, Samayakutva, etc., all that is Yoga Buddhi. Okay. So that is a sadhana. Okay. So when, because what happened, Sukha Dukkha, Samayakutva, Labha, Labho, Jaya, Jaya, when it is saying, what is saying is that, oh, this is the attitude that you should have when you're doing your work. Means what? That should be the sadhana for us, and this sadhana can help us to reach there. Okay, there where to reach Brahman. Okay, and now yoga means what? Yoga means yuj. Okay, it comes from the yuj dhatu. So yuj means one attaining something. Okay, a union of some two things is yoga. Okay, a union of something's primarily a union with the higher is yoga. Okay, so right now I am under the impression that I am different from the higher. So there is a higher and there is lower, and my mind, meaning like there is a Bhagwan and then there is world, and my mind is all around this world. So now I am looking to get to Brahman. Okay, so this yoga is this is what yoga. And this yoga can be possible, this union can be possible, meaning this goal can be achieved through the sadhana that I have just told you. Okay, so that's what one is telling Arjuna. Okay. Yaya buddhya yukta partha karma bandham prahasyati. So here, yaya buddhya yukta, meaning get united with this. Okay, buddhya yukta, united with this what? Karma yoga bhavana. Karma yoga bhavana is, again, as we just said, I belong to Bhagwan, I am instrument in his hands, he is my master. So that, okay, hence I am doing when everything. So for example, when you belong to someone, okay, meaning like when you are a servant of someone, there's only, how many works do you need to do? Okay, so this is something, okay, anything and everything the master says that has to be done. Okay, so you can say, oh, master asked to do A, master asked to do B, master asked me to do C, D, etc. So I'm doing all of these A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. Okay, so all of these works. Or you can simply say, whatever master asked, I had to do. That is the only job, my job. Okay, so here I am put in this world, in this situation, in this environment, among these people. Okay, so as his representative, so I must perform all actions as his representative, not with a, like, I'm Bhagwan's rep. Okay, what do you guys need? No, not that kind of attitude. Rather, it is like, okay, what to do? In West nowadays, it is somewhat. I have what I heard recently multiple times is, what would Jesus do? Right? So that kind of an attitude. Okay, so what is it like? I must do, right? So that's how we should think. So, Partha karma bandham prahasyasi. So bandham means knots or chain, okay, or a knot, right? Like, so karma bandham means, okay, the chains of karma, prahasyasi means can be broken. So what it means is, I had taught you Sankhya Yoga, and I'm going to teach you. I also taught you the sadhana. So using this sadhana, you can break the shackles of karma and karma phala. Okay. So because what is happening is right now for Arjuna, the question is that this particular action that I need to do is worrying. This action is going to give some kind of a result. Okay. And that result, I mean, like from Arjuna's perspective, that result could be negative result because he's going to kill his uncles or teachers. In our case, okay, even if it is not as bad as that, whatever action I'm performing, I'm going to get some result. And that to experience that result, I had to do other action. So there is a continuous chain. Okay. So what I had to understand is that performing action in this manner, as Bhagwan has said, doing that, these chain of action, result, action, result is broken. Okay, so this is what, what we call as Nishkama Karma. Okay, Nishkama Karma means desireless action. So that desireless action doesn't mean that, okay, the action is without desire. No, no, no. There is a desire. The only desire is, it is desire for God. Okay. In fact, that is the biggest desire. Okay. So my desire is only to achieve Bhagwan and experience Bhagwan. Okay. And to thank Bhagwan. So when that kind of an attitude is there, okay, so all actions, okay, so all other results will fall away. Okay, so this is what it is. Again, here you see that even though he's asking due to karma, there is bhakti is involved, and the bhakti is coming with the jnana. Okay, that is being taught here. Okay, so
A clarifying question.
go ahead, Atunji. Yes.
So far, he was taught Sankhya Yoga. And now he's going to talk about the Karma Yoga. And so with the strength of the Karma Yoga, hey Parth, you will break the Karma Bandhana.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you mentioned the sadhana or the instrument, right? I thought Karma Yoga was an instrument to attain gnana, to attain gnana. So I'm a little bit confused here. So what would be a literal translation of the shloka? If you just had to translate, what is the translation of this shloka?
What he's saying is that, hey, okay, so let me look at the let's understand the word by word meaning, right? So it says, Esha te abhita sankhye buddhi yoge tvimam shrunu. Okay, so he's saying that, hey Partha, Esha te sankhye buddhi abhita yoge to imam shrunu. So I have taught you whatever Esha te sankhye buddhihi abhita means whatever I taught you is all that I taught you is sankhya buddhi, meaning the knowledge of sankhya. Okay. Yoge tu imam buddhi shrunu. Okay, so now you listen about buddhi, meaning buddhi yoga. Okay, so I'll come to that in a second. Yaya buddhya yuktaha. By learning this buddhi, I mean, this knowledge that I'm going to teach, okay, karma bandham prahasyasi, you are going to break down the shackles of karma yoga, karma.
Karma bandhan, which is the results and action
Yes.
and result. That cycle, which is karma bandhan, will be broken.
Yes. So that means that he is saying that I am going to start teaching you karma yoga. Okay.
Karma yoga.
So when he is saying, to Arjuna that I am going to teach you karma yoga, what it means is that you are not ready for Sankhya Yoga. Okay. So what I have taught you, that is the knowledge of highest. But to get to there, there is a path, okay, and you need to understand that path and you have to go through that path. Okay. So that is what is starting. So now in what happens is that now interestingly, the word that he has used is I'm going to teach you Buddhi Yoga. Okay, he did not say Karma Yoga. There are a couple of reasons to it. Okay, one is in those days, in Arjuna's days, usually whenever the word karma is used, it meant some kind of Vaidika karma. Vaidika karma means some ritual, okay? A ritual that is performed in temple or a ritual that is performed as a yajna. Okay, so that's what karma meant. So then there is a possibility that because the state of Arjuna is he is totally disturbed. At that point, right knowledge has to be given in right manner. And if at all there is any confusion, he gets a little bit more confused. So that's why if he says Karma Yoga, there is a chance that Arjuna could get confused saying that, oh, Karma Yoga means that he's going to teach me about how to perform certain rituals now. Okay. But Karma Yoga, as we already know, it is all about change of the attitude, okay, when we perform action. So that is why he's calling it as Buddhi Yoga. Okay. So now when he starts teaching this Karma Yoga / Buddhi Yoga, Arjuna is not familiar with this, okay, and so whatever, there is something, right? So if someone comes and says that, hey, I'm going to teach you this particular skill or this particular subject, you have multiple questions. Is it worth my time? Can I learn? And what is the benefit? All of these questions are going to be there. So it's simply like, what is in it for me? Okay, as simple as that, right? When I'm learning this. So now, before he teaches, he needs to get the agreement from the other party that it is worthy enough for them to pursue it, give enough consideration. Okay, so that is what before starting actual Karma Yoga, he's talking about the benefit of Karma Yoga. Okay, so Atulji or Varshaji, would you like to chant after me the verse number 40?
Yeah.
Okay, so I will break the words first. Okay, then I will chant and then you will repeat. Okay, so there is a word Neha Bhikramanashosti. Okay, Neha Bhikramanashosti, that is broken down as Na Iha Abhikrama Nashaha Asti. Na Iha Abhikrama Nashaha Asti becomes Neha Bhikrama Nashosti. Okay, Pratyavayaha Na Vidyate. Swalpam Api Asya becomes Swalpamapyasya. Okay, Swalpam Api Asya Dharmasya Trayate Mahataha. Actually, when Sandhi comes, it becomes Mahato Bhayat. Okay, ready? Repeat after me. Neha Bhikramanashosti
नेहाभिक्रमनाशोऽस्ति
Pratyavayo na vidyate
प्रत्यवायो न विद्यते
Swalpamapyasya dharmasya
स्वल्पमस् स्वल्पमपस् स्वल्
Okay.
स्वल्पम्
Swalpam api asya.
अपि अस्य
Swalpamapyasya dharmasya
धर्मस्य
Trayate mahato bhayat.
त्रायते महतो भयात्.
So here, what he's saying is that na iha. So iha means what? Okay, herein. Okay, so what is he referring to when he say herein? in this yoga buddhi. Okay, because he talked about buddhi yoga in the previous sentence, previous shloka. So he's talking about in this particular buddhi yoga that I'm referring to. What is this buddhi yoga? He's talking about this karma yoga buddhi, meaning the knowledge with reference to karma yoga. Okay. Now, because the ultimate purpose of karma yoga is moksha. Okay. So, because what it said that yaya karma bandham prahasyasi, so through which the bondages of karma is cut off, right? So, iha here is referring to in this karma yoga, where moksha is the final goal. In this iha, okay, abhikrama nashaha na asti. Abhikrama nasha, meaning abhikrama nashaha, na asti means not there. Nashaha asti means destruction is not there. Okay, what destruction is not there? Okay, abhikrama nasha is not there. Okay, so what is abhikrama nasha? Okay, this what is this abhikrama? Okay, so if, say for example, like if I had to think about, if I had to take, if I had to perform an action. Now, for me to perform this action, there are 10 steps. Okay. Now, I finished 9 of these 10 steps. Would I get the result? So, for example, there are some guests are coming. You're making 5 dishes. Okay. You made 4 dishes, but you did not cook rice. Okay, then it's a problem. Or when you're cooking the food, okay, you wash the vegetables, you cut the vegetables, you put it on the frying pan. You add the oil and then put these vegetables, put salt, everything, right? The mirchi and masalas, everything, you mixed it up, all of that, but you did not turn on the stove. Okay, so nothing is going to happen. So similarly, if you take any lab kind of experiments, right, like experiments in lab, if there are 10 steps and if you miss one thing, it is not going to get the desired result. So what is that krama is sequence, and you have to perform all actions, and those actions, all the tasks have to be performed, and all the steps have to be performed, and they must be performed in the same sequence. Okay. So this is I remember one of the jokes from Puja Guruji. He tells this joke. Is that in like his Guruji is from Mumbai, so obviously the joke was aimed at BMC, meaning Brihat Mumbai Corporation, right? So it is like this, right? So there is a plantation, as in like like some there's a like there's Ambedkar Jayanti or what is that Gandhi Jayanti, and on those days what you want to do is that okay, we are going to plant 100 plants. Okay, so those kind of things happen. Okay, so he started. So here is an example where so now when you want to plant one plant, it is an easy task. Okay, so you dig something, you put the plant in there, you cover it up, you pour water. Okay, so now, but if you want to do like maybe 1,000 plants or something like that, then there should be a specialization, right? So like as in like a assembly line. Okay, so in this assembly line, what happened is that one person is expected to dig, another person is to put the plant in, okay, and the other person is to cover, and fourth person pours water. Okay, so now what happened is that all of them are efficient, but the second person got he was suffering from cold, just like us. This, so he was a little slow.
Oh.
So first person started digging, he left. Okay, second person is slowed down a little bit, but the third person came and he started closing. The fourth person came like pouring water. And then the second person came putting the plants on top of each of them. Okay. So I mean, the point is that in this example, of course, that's
Yes.
a funny example, but we understand that when all the tasks are not done, sometimes we don't get any result. Okay. And so that means that the result could fail. Okay. I mean, we won't get a desired result when all of that is not done to best of possibility. Okay. So, do you recall? Yeah, go ahead, Shobhaji.
No, but when you say, when all the steps are not performed in accordance, right? It has to be in accordance only. It cannot be just,
Yeah.
otherwise the results will not be.
Yes. Yeah, it depends, right? So, I mean, like, not necessarily all of them, but some of them. Yeah.
True.
Yeah. Yeah. So, question is, Shobha, do you have a question around that?
Yeah, no, I mean, each of these steps have to be performed accordingly. Otherwise, I mean, when it comes to moksha, you cannot get moksha right away. You have to perform, you have to pass through those other three to gain moksha, right?
Well, this is not about moksha. We are talking about there is a abhikrama. So let us understand the term abhikrama. Okay, abhikrama is simply many a times we don't get results when all aspects of the work is not done. Second is even if it is done out of sequence, we may not get the desired result. Okay. Okay. So now what he's saying is that Neha Bhikrama Nashosti, meaning in the path of Karma Yoga, there is no such thing as Abhikrama Nasha. Meaning, if you have done 30%, if you put 30% effort, you'll get 30% result. If you put 5% effort, you'll get 100% result. If you put 90% effort, you'll get 90% result. So that means another example I can readily think of is this one. Cricket versus what is that? Baseball.
Baseball.
Okay. In cricket, you hit a run. Okay. In baseball, all bases are loaded, then you need to hit a run, then you get this one, right? Like when people are out after 3 bases are loaded, then there is no run. Okay, there's Abhikrama Nasha is there.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, so here in Karma Yoga, what he's saying is that the result is, so if I have performed Karma Yoga for 5 minutes today, I'll get that 5 minutes worth result at least. Okay, so that's what is one advantage of this. Then he says that Iha pratyavayah na vidyate. Okay, so in the first line, Neha bhikrama nashosti pratyavayo na vidyate. Pratyava, meaning in this one, pratyavayah na vidyate. So there is no dosha called pratyavaya. Okay, so this pratyavaya is again a technical term from Vedas where the especially from Karmakanda portion, Pratyavaya is when we perform a mistake, okay, so in this particular yajna, okay, so maybe it is like you missed a step, maybe you used a wrong ingredient, maybe used a wrong mantra, etc. Then Pratyavaya dosha occurs, meaning you get a negative result. Okay. Now think about this, right? So this is true even in our secular world also. Now, if you in the lab, say for example, if you're doing an experiment, all of those ingredients must be exactly there. Okay, and if you miss one ingredient, or if you increase the dosage of one ingredient, or if you miss a step, or you have added an extra step, then it can backfire. Okay, so there is this concept of backfiring when you perform some actions. Okay, because you did not do it right. Okay, now whereas in Karma Yoga, there is no such thing as backfiring. Okay, so there is no pratyavaya dosha in karma yoga. So there is no loss because you did not do it fully. Okay, there is no loss. Okay, there's no negative result because you did not do the action correctly. So here, please understand here when pratyavaya he's talking about is from a spiritual perspective, no pratyavaya. From a secular perspective, there can be pratyavaya. For example, I am responsible to I mean, like, let us say a doctor is responsible to save a patient, okay? And he is doing it as his duty to Bhagavan, okay? As a karma yoga. With a karma yoga attitude, he is doing. But now he forgot to check the allergens of the patient and gave something, some medicine which is allergic to patient. So patient is probably going to have a negative impact, okay? So from a patient perspective, there's a pratyavaya dosha. Okay. But from his spiritual perspective, because he has done with the right attitude and everything, okay, he is not going to be impacted because of that. Okay.
He will feel terrible anyway. If the patient suffered some bad results, he's
No,
not
no.
going to be very happy. He
Right.
is going to be very disturbed and he will be
Yes.
afraid.
So from a karma yoga
I mean,
perspective,
even
there
though
is
he meant well, but obviously he didn't check everything properly.
Mhm.
That would have prevented him from giving the medication.
Or
in the
maybe
first
like, or maybe that he's simply like, if he hasn't checked, maybe it is just that it was not listed, okay, but that he's allergic to some thing, right? So think about like, when we were, the first COVID dosages, when we all got first COVID shots, what happened was that at least when I went there, they asked me to sit for 15 minutes after the
20
injection
minutes,
was done.
10 to 20 minutes. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Why? Because they don't know if I'm allergic to any of those ingredients,
Ingredients. Yeah.
right? If the hope is that if something is found, it is found within 15 minutes or 20 minutes, as you said, right, Chanji? So now, so the pratyavaya dosha, if I'm allergic to it, I'm going to be impacted, yes, okay? But so for him, he has given with good faith, with proper karma yoga bhavana, so he's not going to have, so that's why, like, I mean, because like my point here is that do not think that, oh, just because I'm going to do karma yoga, I'm going to practice karma yoga, I won't face obstacles in this world. We are going to face the obstacles in this world, irrespective of karma yoga. Okay, so be aware of it. That's what my point is. Okay.
Yeah, I think Swamiji has given a better example is that when somebody has a gangrene, for example, in the leg, in order to save the person, you may have to remove the leg, even though it's a very crude and a very heavy kind of procedure. But in order to save, that doesn't mean he has to, it is a part of his duty to save somebody's life at the cost of his losing a limb, which is pretty hefty, but that's the only way he can save his life. And there are times we have to do certain actions that may seem too gross or too heavy, but that's no other choice.
Yeah. So now, in the second line, he says, Asya dharmasya swalpamapi mahatah trayate bhayat. So what he is saying is that this yoga, when you perform, swalpamapi, meaning even a little bit, okay, according to dharma, okay. That means if karma yoga is being considered as that here, karma yoga is being considered as dharma. So if I perform karma yoga as my dharma, and it is associated with nishkama bhavana, meaning like desireless and bhakti to the Lord, then there is no greater than dharma than having devotion to the Lord. So here, karma yoga bhavana is swadharma for all of us. Okay. So now this dharma of karma yoga, even if I do a little bit, okay, mahatha trayate bhayat, meaning it protects me, okay. Trayate means protection, okay. It protects me from mahatah bhayat. Mahatah means greatest dangers. Okay, what is the greatest danger we have is, the greatest suffering we have is that life after life after life after life, we are going through this samsara and janana marana, birth, death, samsara chakra, wherein we are experiencing every possible good and I mean like a relative good, but also every possible relative bad experiences, and we don't know what kind of experiences are in store for us in future. So all of those are removed, even if you do little bit. Okay, so this karma yoga has two benefits. Okay, no matter the results are proportional to the amount of effort, no wasted effort. Okay, even if there is no such thing as that, oh, you missed one step because of which there is a negative result, that there is no negative result at all. Okay, and once we start performing this, we are going to be protected from our samsara. Okay, so there's a little bit more on this, so we will probably cover in next session. So I'll just pause here to see any last minute questions around this particular verse.
I was trying to understand the buddhi part of it as we were talking about. There is mention of the mind-intellect complex, that the intellect is the higher power, which is the buddhi power. So we have to utilize the intellect as a guide to do our actions. Not, like we talk even in general psychological terms, the emotions of the mind are irrational, they are not thoughtful, but the intellect overrides everything. So when we use the intellect to guide our actions, then we will be able to perform them in the proper way. Was that something that was a part of the buddhi yoga?
So buddhi, again here, buddhi is the proper knowledge here, right? So it is not
Right.
intellect, but it is the wisdom, right? So see, a person may have proper intellect, but if his intellect is not per shastra, not per shastra is not necessarily Hindu shastra, like Muslim shastra, or Christian shastra, not like that. But if it is not in line with the basics of humanity, etc. Right now, you may have like a pure rational intellect. Okay, so like a computer-based intellect, right? So then that is you may make decisions which are not there's no scope for compassion, etc. Those kind of things, right? So that is why the buddhi here is referring to a little bit more than intellect. Okay, yes, it is intellect, but it is more than intellect. It is primarily wisdom. The wisdom
It's
that
Gyan and Vigyan. Yeah, I got it. Okay.
Okay.
We can have the particular intellect, but unless we experience that, then that becomes a wisdom. Yeah.
Okay.
Very good. Well, we're getting there slowly. We are purifying our mind slowly. Thank you.
So we'll close if there are no additional questions. Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Thanks
See you
everyone.
next time. Thank you.
Thank you, Ankit. Thank you. Good
We'll be
seeing you.
back in Andover.
I'll be
Next
back
time
in
we'll be back in Andover.